Tuesday, June 23rd, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jay Scooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards. And we have a great show for you today. I don't know if you live under a rock, but we had a pretty massive trade in the NBA happen. Yes, you saw that right. Giannis is now a Miami Heat, and we got Mr. Peanut Butter coming on later in the show to talk all about that. Plus, we got some NBA draft stuff as well. Before that, we got Drunken Goon coming on. We're going to talk some World Cup action, talk him through his World Cup tour, see how things are going for him. Plus, we'll talk about some picks as well. It's been a crazy week so far. NBA draft tonight. Tons of trades, tons of World Cup action. We're going to cover it all right here live on the show. Plus, if you're hungry for some World Cup picks, guess what? We're running a little contest at the Hammer here. We got 8 creators sharing their favorite bet every single day of the week. Let's bring up the leaderboard to see how everyone is doing. And here we go. We got myself in first place, having a lot of fun with this one. I had a G-stack by a couple units here. Alex in third. Everyone else is sort of, not doing too hot. Kanish has been betting draws every single day, and he cannot seem to come home with those draws. So hopefully he does a little bit better. Let's see what the picks are for today. All right. We got Ghana under 2.5 corners for Rob. Rob loves his corner markets. Did he win his corner? He lost his yesterday, didn't he?
No, he won Norway.
He won it? He won Norway? Yeah, they had like 3 corners in the first 20 minutes of the match. Ended up coming through for him. Bredo likes Portugal to win both halves at plus 110. G-Stack likes England minus 2.5 plus 150, which I also like, and we'll get into the controversy here in just a second. England and Ghana, first half draw, plus 190 for Goon. I'm taking Cristiano Ronaldo 2+ goals. I have the comfortable lead, so I'm going to take a stab at a goal. I have like a little bit of FOMO when I saw those 2+ goal parlays. I can't believe, it's my fault. I saw that the first match day. I should have just tailed it the second match day just for FOMO. It's like 100-to-1 parlay. Why were we not doing that? I'm so mad at myself. I am so mad at myself. Anyways, FOMOing into that. And then after that, we got Croatia to win both halves from Jacob at plus 280. Portugal, team total minus 125 over 2.5. And then Kanish, again with the Colombian Dr. Congo draw at plus 340. He has not been able to come home with these draws. So hopefully he does if you are tailing him. Maybe you want to take the double chance, no draw. Anyways, yeah. It's pretty good stuff here. Matt Falk in the chat saying, someone needs to do a deep dive of the stage of elimination board. Lots of juicy stuff out there if you can predict the draw. Yeah. Pretty interesting stuff. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into today's show here. Before we get into things, though, Hammer Daily here is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Baseball fans, big hits get even bigger with Dinger Tuesday on FanDuel. Customers can choose their own reward every Tuesday to use on home run bets. How will you play your game? Option 1, the bet reset. Use it on your wager and you'll get refunded in bonus bets if your bet loses. Option 2, a 50% profit boost. Make your bet, activate the profit boost, and if it hits, that's extra winnings at no extra cost. Make your choice and the reward will be ready to use on your next home run bet. Just visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to choose your reward for home run bets every Dinger Tuesday. Play ball with the home for home runs on FanDuel. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliation, Kansas are 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are not withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelp.ma.org or call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. All right, let's get into today's show. Joseph Myers in the chat. Oh, wow. Jay didn't lead with something Toronto-based. I am stunned. I don't get that. Oh,
because talk radio. I mean, Babcock with the Oilers, but
yeah, but I don't have to mention that. Joseph Myers, I apologize for the Toronto talk radio, but I don't know. It's like
we're just passionate.
Yeah, we love our stuff, and it's like was the front of the hockey world when we were talking about that stuff. Anyways. Let's get into our first guest here. He is on his World Cup tour. You've seen him on the show plenty of times before. He got you covered heading into the World Cup with all the information you needed on every single group. We got the Drunken Goon, a.k.a. Adrian, coming on. Adrian, how's it going?
I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything. All right. Well,
now I can. Now I can.
There we go. There we go. You hear it? All good.
Yeah.
All good. How's it going, Adrian?
Good. Recovery day.
Yeah, recovery day. For those who don't know, you've been all across North America so far. You've been to Vancouver, you've been to Seattle, you've been to tons of games. Where are you right now?
So I'm in Harrison Hot Springs, BC, about 2 hours from Vancouver. Just taking it easy, a couple of hikes and recharging. I got 4 games in 4 days coming up, so I need to be at my optimal best.
All right, we need you at your A game here. 4 games, 4 days. You saw right there before we brought you in our leaderboard. Any opinions on the contest so far? Any takes you have here for the contest? There's some unethical being thrown around a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
You're leading, so can't say too much about it. I'm underperforming. It's hard to do this on the road. 3 hour difference, making sure I get picks in on time, and not having access to my accounts is also not a lot of fun.
Yeah, no,
we march on.
We march on. Listen, it's worth it. This is like a once in a lifetime opportunity here to visit and go to the World Cup on your home soil. It's pretty awesome stuff here. Let's get into what we have for today here. I have a couple questions for you. The first thing I want to lead with is sort of like we're almost done match day 2. Today's the last day of match day 2. Then we're heading into match day 3, which is going to be 3 awesome days, jam-packed with games. But is it fair to say that people sort of overreacted to the new format? I'm like sort of stuck in the middle. I think like, yes, there was a little bit of an overreaction. We've seen some crazy, awesome upsets that we wouldn't have normally seen. But then also at the same time, it feels like those upsets haven't really caused anyone being punished. How do you feel about the new format? Do you feel like we overreacted coming into things?
So there's only been 3 upsets, like outright upsets, a lot of draws. My favorite is as it stands, people doing the calculations of who's going to play who. As it stands means absolutely nothing. You have to account for the odds for the upcoming games and do your calculations based on that, not as it stands, because DR Congo's not going to finish second in their group.
Whoa! Don't speak too fast. We got them playing later today, and I think I kind of like them a little bit here. They're a fun story of the tournament. But yeah, so do you feel like what do you feel like about the overreactions before? Do you feel like it's like justified? How do you feel about the format? Like now that we're in it,
the format's fine. We knew that 8 third place teams will go through. We kind of know that there's going to be 3 or 4 groups that don't have 3 points. So anybody with 3 points is likely going to go through. And there's a couple where it might come down to 2 points as well. So basically 3 points to get through, and then if you have a chance to pick your opponent, that helps as well. I'm looking at Algeria versus Austria. That's one game that there might be shenanigans, but there's also history. So don't put too much stock into that. These smaller countries, they're looking to advance and play a big game. So if you get a chance to play Spain, if you're looking to go far in the tournament, you're not going to like that. But if you want to, have a chance at an upset, maybe Algeria against Spain might be a fun game. Yeah,
no, for sure. Ian mentioned this on Twitter with it's Algeria. And if either team that loses will probably have an easier matchup if the other wins. But if they draw, it's like the best outcome for both teams. If they do draw, it's almost like a little prisoner's dilemma scenario we got going on there. But like you said, there's history with that matchup, and I think playing for pride is also pretty important for some of these teams as well. Let's flip through and talk through. Just been like, I don't know, you've been around the globe, you've watched all these games. What's been your biggest takeaway so far from the tournament?
Disappointed in Belgium. Expected Uruguay to struggle, and they have. I expected more from the Czechs, and Argentina's doing well, but it's only been Messi. So unless they get some secondary scoring, there's not going to be a long run in them, even though they're doing well so far.
Yeah. Where do you think that secondary is coming from? Is it Martinez? Is it? I know Araujo scored a goal for them. Where do you think it should be coming from?
Martinez and Alvarez for sure. And midfield needs to take a bit more ownership. They're deferring to Messi quite a bit, but can't complain if he scored 5 goals in 2 games. So
yeah,
we'll see how they do. If I expect him to play maybe a half or even less in the third game. Yeah. So we'll see how they do without him, or who takes ownership of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like obviously Messi is the centerpiece of that team, and you have to rely on Messi to win games, but you can't just rely on him. It's a little bit of a gambit there for this Argentinian team if they want to make it far and win the World Cup again, back to back. Any other takeaways you have, or you want to just get into today's games?
USA, they're not winning the World Cup. The odds have been slashed, so if somebody wants to give me good odds on USA not winning, I'm willing to take that 2-3%.
Yeah.
1 month in quick return.
Yeah, no, for sure. USA, they have a lot of love coming their way. So any futures, you mentioned the USA not to win. Any other futures that you would look for, or that you look like? We've seen England come down quite a bit here from pre-tournament odds. France and Spain hovering around the same spot. Norway looks to be pretty strong as a public favorite dark horse. Like, everyone loved them and picked them as sort of one of their dark horses in the tournament. Colombia, again, another dark horse that people are picking. Anyone you like in terms of futures, whether it be to make it to X point or to win the whole thing?
I had questions about the Dutch offense going into the tournament, but they seem to be doing fine. So at 16-1, I would be looking to maybe back them for a small play.
Say that again, sorry.
The Dutch.
The Dutch. Okay.
I wasn't sure about their offense, but they're scoring in bunches, and the defense is still strong enough. I think they can make a run.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's funny because in our Discord we were talking about their striker Bobby. I was like, why are they putting this guy in? I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I feel like this might be a little mistake. Comes on, scores 2 goals right away. I was like, wow, maybe I don't know ball. Right now, 17-1 to win the whole thing. Giovanni disagrees. He says nobody seriously thinks. Oh, he's talking about the USA. Nobody seriously thinks we're going to win it all. It's going to be tough for the USA to win it all. That's for sure. And their odds right now are like 33-1, around where Morocco is. Norway, like Colombia, you can get 45-1. And I understand the path is obviously harder for those teams, but you're going to have to beat a good team at some point if you do make it through. All right, let's close it out here with the games for today. Let's talk through the first game we have today. We got Uzbekistan. The White Wolves of Uzbekistan taking on Portugal. This should be an easy win for Portugal here. Portugal's like minus 600 favorites. Totals at around a flat 3.5-ish, juice towards the under here. Anything you like in this match, Adrian?
I don't trust Portugal to break down well-organized Uzbek defense. I think they will struggle, especially on the wings. I would look at the Uzbekistan Asian handicap plus 2.25 if available.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have the odds in front of me. I'm mobile.
It's all good. It's all good. We appreciate you coming on here and sharing your knowledge with us here. So you like the plus 2.5, the Asian handicap. Sorry, plus 2.25. Excuse me, the Asian handicap there for Uzbekistan. It's like you can get it at like pretty minus money. They're minus 110-ish, minus 103, depending on where you look. All right, you like Uzbekistan. I like Portugal. We're going to be going head-to-head on that one. Next one, we have England versus Ghana. And again, England looks like a completely different team than we've seen in previous World Cups without Gareth Southgate. So little rejuvenation from the new manager. Any opinion on this match here? We got England as minus 600 favorites on the three-way money line here. The total is sitting roughly around the 3. Very similar odds here than what we see in the Portugal game. You like England versus Ghana, or are you leaning towards the Ghana side? Talk us through it.
So I think first half it's going to be tight. I took the draw there plus 190 in the first half. I think Ghana can cause problems, and they will play in a low block and then frustrate England as much as they can. Once England gets ahead, it's going to be it could get ugly for Ghana.
All right, we're looking for England to get ahead here and make things a little bit ugly for Ghana. I think England just wants to blow out and score as many goals as they possibly can here. Hopefully we can get some luck like we did with some anytime goal scorers here like we did in the watch-along for the England-Croatia game. Next match we have on the board, we got Panama and Croatia. Talk us through this one here. Croatia, the clear favorites. Panama almost was able to pull a draw against Ghana. Anything you like in this match?
I don't have anything on this one. I think Panama is going to make it difficult for Croatia. Same type of scenario as Uzbekistan. They'll play deep, and they will mix it up physically as well with Croatia. They won't back down, and they're a team that's difficult to break down. but at the same time, they don't pose much offensively. So I would look for an under in this one, if anything. But no play for me.
No play for you here in this one. And then let's flip over to the last match of the day. It's DR Congo taking on Colombia. And we talked about how you talked about mentioning earlier on the show, DR Congo's not going to finish in third here, or sorry, in second. They're probably going to finish third. So I'm assuming you like Colombia in this match. Colombia right now minus 195 on the money line. The draw is plus 300. DR Congo plus 600. We saw some funky stuff happen between DR Congo and Portugal on the first match day. Anything you like here?
I'm leaning towards Colombia -1. I don't trust DR Congo to continue. I mean, they did really well in qualifying, and they kept Nigeria and Cameroon scoreless, which is impressive, and getting a draw in the first game against Portugal just as impressive. But at some point, their luck is going to start running out, and I think Colombia has the ability to break them down with their speed and generate a lot of chances.
All right, Colombia -1 is what we're looking at here. Goon, before you head out, we've seen the 2+ goal money lines, or sorry, 2+ goal parlays come through for Mbappé, Messi, and Haaland. It's pretty crazy stuff. Like, how do you feel sitting? Like, do you feel like me sitting on the sidelines here, kicking myself a little bit after not being in on those?
I missed out on it, but there's always day 3, so you might want to sprinkle on that a little bit, even though they might not all get all the minutes. But if you're looking at something today, maybe Kane with a pair.
Yeah, no, Kane could be worth a play. Well, another player playing today who's a pretty big star, Ronaldo, 2+ goals as well, which is what I took in the tournament. Oh my gosh! All right. Oh, thanks, I appreciate it. Any opinion quickly before we head out on the FIFA Young Player Award? Marks are listed on FanDuel. They've kind of been on and off here recently. They take them down as the games happen. Is there any certain player that stuck out to you? I know we talked a little bit about it with Dubundo at the end of match day when we talked about Yan Diomande for Ivory Coast. He's currently plus 650. Ayoub Bouadi from Morocco is plus 380. Lamine Yamal, obviously the clear favorite at plus 175. Any young player that stuck out to you so far in the tournament?
Yeah, I was going to say Diomande as well. He was really, really unbelievable in that first game against Ecuador, and he played well against Germany. He might go nuts in the third game. So I would look at him if anything.
Yeah, it might be a little tough for him to beat Lamine Yamal, but there's nothing we love more on the show than picking the guy who's going to finish second in an award rather than finishing first. We got good plus money on it. As it gets closer to the award getting handed out, we're getting a good price on it, but never ends up winning there. Goon, appreciate you joining the show. I know you got a ways to go here. I know you're on a hike. It's going to be a lot of fun. Any final thoughts before you head out? Anything you're looking forward to? Not for match day, not for the matches for today, but for match day 3. Anything in specific you're looking forward to?
Just looking forward to Canada, Switzerland tomorrow. I was really impressed with the fans in Vancouver at the stadium. Everything's been top notch. Transportation. Got to give credit. Looking forward to the march tomorrow, 1:00 your time, I think. And hopefully they win. I'm on the Swiss to win the group, but if Canada does it and they get that home game in around the 32 and possibly around the 16, that would be amazing. So let's bring it home. Yeah,
let's bring it home. That would be absolutely incredible. Quickly before you head out here, I didn't ask you about the loss of Ismail Kone, but how does it affect Team Canada here, and how?
It's massive because Eustáquio has missed some practice time as well. So if they have to go to their third and fourth center mids, it's going to get ugly as the tournament progresses. Kone is a massive loss. Just no other way to look at it. And if Eustáquio can't go, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, I thought my understanding was the Eustáquio thing was just a rest day, but I haven't really looked at it since I've seen him miss the practice there. But anyways, Goon, appreciate you joining the show. I hope you enjoy Vancouver. Should be a lot of fun. And we need some videos from you, some live videos, whether you post them on Twitter or just send them to our group of the March, because it's going to be pretty awesome.
All right, we'll do that.
Awesome stuff there. Going to enjoy your hike. Appreciate you joining the show. You can follow Adrian on Twitter at Drunken Goon. Great stuff from Adrian as always. Appreciate him joining the show, sharing his in-depth knowledge there. Awesome stuff. Tomorrow, pretty massive game for us Canadians at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Well, if you haven't heard already, We will be doing a live watch along at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 minutes before the game. We are going to go live and break down the Canada, Switzerland, plus Bosnia and Qatar game. Rob will be joining myself and Mike in studio. We might get G-Stack George in there as well because, me and G-Stack, we've been butting heads a little bit. There's a little bit of controversy going on in our picks contest. But yes, you're going to want to be there. Myself, Rob, Mike, 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time here on the Hammer HQ YouTube channel. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you ring that notification bell to be notified right when we go live because
They're a lot of fun.
yeah, we've had a lot of fun. Well, yeah, I mean, can't guarantee. I've been saying this. Can't guarantee we win bets. Can't guarantee that there will be fun. If you joined us for the first day and missed the second one, you are loving it. If you joined us for the second one, missed the first one, you're not too happy about things.
We need Alex in studio, Jacob's band. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think that's what it's going to have to be. We need Alex in studio here
See
because
what Rob brings tomorrow. Because
I don't know. I feel like he'll bring some good luck. He hasn't been doing well in the picks contest, but
he's actually making his way up the board, man. He's in fifth now. So.
I mean, out of the basement is a good start there for Rob. And quickly, just going to plug, if you haven't already, if you don't know about it, our good friends over at BetStamp. If you're serious about props, the hard part isn't finding an edge, it's scaling it. BetStamp Pro is built to grow your volume and your ROI. Every player prop and alternate line across 200 plus books on one screen in real time, price against BetStamp's true line of proprietary model, weighted per market and prop type, bias corrected, producing the most efficient, sharpest props pricing reference in the industry. Catch off-market props the second they appear across more markets and more outlines than anywhere else, so you can get more money down at a bigger edge more often. Make sure you can scan the QR code on screen or use the link in the description to apply. That is betstamp.com/hammer, or scan that QR code on screen. And I mentioned earlier as well, we have our little FanDuel home run Dinger Tuesday promo. I just ripped up BetStamp right now, pulled it up, got Trey Turner plus 680 anytime home run to hit a home run. Best price in market there. I'll use my boost on that. I will use my boost on that one. That's how easy BetStamp Pro is. That's how easy it is. Plus 680. And I'll use my 50% profit boost on that to get an even better price. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Apologies for the audio on that last one. It happens. Appreciate Goon coming out. Oh my God. I'm used to saying Drew on Tuesdays.
Yeah, you get like a set schedule. I noticed that too at the ad read super sub. You were eyeing that one, but it got
Appreciate Goon coming out. Anyways, we got Mr. Peanut Butter coming on in a couple minutes here. He's gonna be talking through some NBA stuff. We got the NBA draft tonight. Things could look a little interesting. Right now, I see AJ DeBonsta at minus 800 to go first overall, and I know a lot of people like to, click that number. I'm going to ask him if he's willing to click that number, or if there's a chance that Darren Peterson at plus 650 or Cameron Boozer might be a play at 51. Plus, we'll obviously be breaking down the Giannis deal. Miami Heat right now 20-1 to win the NBA Finals. Plus 650 to win the East. We'll talk about what that means for the Miami Heat, what that means for the Milwaukee Bucks, how the Miami Heat can build a team. They have like 10 players on their roster, like absolutely no depth whatsoever. I'm going to try and talk through all of that with Mr. Peanut Butter. And then finally, I have a bet for him that I've made on the NBA draft that I'm going to pitch to him. It was plus 250 at the start of the show, but has now moved to plus 230. And I'm a little worried. And I think there's a little bit of steam coming around here. Ooh. So we'll talk about that with Mr. Peanut Butter as well. Yesterday, we had Alex Moretto on the show. We talked a little bit about the NHL draft. The NHL draft is happening on Friday night. We talked a little bit about his favorite bet so far. It's Ivor Stenberg, minus 160, number 2 overall pick. Well, I got another bet. I have a bet as well. I wasn't able to mention it on yesterday's show, and I want to share it with you today. The only thing is, it's like almost directly correlated, unfortunately, to Alex's bet, because I like the number 3 overall pick, and I like Caleb Malhotra at minus 155 to go 3rd overall. Of course, if Stenberg goes second, there's a likelihood that Malhotra goes third. If things could get flipped, if Chase Reed goes second, which I do not see happening, it causes a big shakeup for everything else. I think Ivor Stenberg is pretty locked in at that second overall pick. A lot of smoke around Caleb Malhotra. A lot of people think that he won't go there. His dad is the coach of the Vancouver Canucks. Maybe we've got to get so money on to get the in-depth analysis here. But just based off of what I've heard, Caleb Malhotra is the best center in this draft. Chase Reed, great defenseman, huge offensive upside, but I think teams would rather take the centerman over the offensive upside in a defenseman who is sort of like a one-way guy. Can't really play a 200-foot game. Caleb Malhotra, the most complete center. I think the Vancouver Canucks really liked him before Manny Malhotra became their head coach. I understand that they have a new GM now, but there was no real organizational turnover for the Vancouver Canucks. It's just the same internal people getting promoted. A lot of smoke about Caleb Malhotra going to the Vancouver Canucks early on in January. And I don't see why any of that would change at all coming into the draft here. So Caleb Malhotra, minus 155 to go third overall. Interesting. Ecolt in the chat is saying terrible pick. I don't understand. I thought Ecolt was my friend. Terrible pick. I wonder why that is. I need him to explain that. There's also a lot of people in the chat mentioning Amber saying, I honestly do not think AJ DeBonsa is enough, but I am not a coach at all. Oh, interesting.
Well, there was some smoke around like Darren Peterson only interviewing with the Wizards, and like he was number one, but it's obviously flipped. So
I always just default to the odds boards here at minus 800. Like minus 800, it's like I'm not going to click that, but it's most likely DeBonsta. I just wish we could get a market on Gavin McKenna to go first overall, because it was like what we saw with Fernando Mendoza, where it's probably going to be like the minus 10,000, minus 100,000 there. It's pretty locked in for the Leafs. You're going to say something?
Yeah, Peanut's not in right now, but I was going to ask you back to the NHL draft. There's been like some circulation with Chicago, the 4th overall pick, in the Leafs. Like,
I don't believe any of that. I think the more interesting stuff here is that the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh yeah.
I cannot believe that the NHL, number one, the NHL reinstated Mike Babcock. Number two, the Oilers brought in Mike Babcock, and maybe one of the most head-scratcher head coaching moves in a while. I know that there's a connection there with Zach Hyman. Obviously, Hyman loves Mike Babcock, basically gave him a career, built his career. If it wasn't for Mike Babcock, I don't know if Hyman would be playing in the NHL, but this might be like one of the worst coaching hires we've ever seen. And also, what are we doing with the Edmonton Oilers? Their offseason decision-making process has just been all over the place.
They also got DJ Smythe.
Yeah, DJ Smith.
Smith, whatever. Yeah, Smith.
It's Smith. Smith is usually pronounced Smith, but I honestly can't be on you for mispronouncing names because I am the CEO.
It's just like
of mispronouncing names. Yeah, no, they're just rebuilding the exact same coaching staff that we had in Toronto. Like, what was it?
Yep.
Almost 10 years ago. Wow.
Yep.
It's really been that long. But yeah, DJ Smith, Mike Babcock going to the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see how it works out. I doubt that they'll be putting as much, or Mike Babcock will be putting as much strain on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl as he's put on, some of the younger players in the NHL. But yeah, tough for Mike Babcock and the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know how well they're going to do with him behind the bench. I feel like the NHL has now progressed past the need for a guy like Mike Babcock. Right now, Edmonton Oilers 11-1 to win the Stanley Cup. With McDavid, really anything can happen, but yeah, just tough to see. All right, guys, do us a favor. If you've made it this far, smash the like button. It goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to quickly parse through BetStamp Pro to see if we can find any props for you guys for today's World Cup matches. So frustrating that I don't have the official lineups out for the later matches for today. England, Ghana, Panama, Croatia, Colombia, Congo. Should have probably tried to run those and guesstimated who would be in, but didn't have time to do that today. Maybe if you want to join the Discord, I'll be dropping that stuff in there. Just give me a tag and I will send them directly to you. Scan that QR code. All right. in case you've tuned in late here as well, people are asking me in the chat, what have we picked for today? If you don't know, we're running a contest here on the Hammer. 8 creators, 8 different picks every single day. Let's bring up the leaderboard first to see where people may be, might want to tail. Yes, that's me right there in first. A lot of people are calling it unethical. I think it's pretty ethical. I got really lucky there at the Argentina-Austria over 1.5 with Messi scoring at like the 90th minute. But anyways, let's bring up the picks here as well. Quickly recapping what we have for today. Get in on this Portugal game because it's starting in 30 minutes. We have 3 picks for the Portugal game. Portugal to win both halves from Alex Moreno at plus 110. Ronaldo scored 2+ goals at plus 210. Listen, I just FOMO'd this one. I saw everyone's betting the 2+ goals. I said, I have a bit of a lead. Let's have some fun with it. And then finally, we have Cleve TA. Portugal team total over 2.5 at minus 125. Those are all of the picks for the Portugal match. The other picks we have is Ghana under 2.5 corners here from Rob at minus 118. G-Stack likes England at minus 2.5 plus 150. Goon took the England-Ghana first half draw at plus 190. Jacob likes Croatia to win both halves at plus 280. And then finally, Kanish likes Colombia and DR Congo to draw at plus 340. All right. A lot of interesting discussions happening in the chat here. I wish I could keep up with it. If you have any questions for the NBA draft, please feel free to drop them in the chat because we have a NBA draft casual coming on here in just a second. I'm just kidding. He knows his stuff. He watches enough college ball to know his stuff here. You've seen him on Circle Back, but recently he's been getting bumped for some better guests. He's the CEO of Making Tier Lists. You can follow him on Twitter at peanut_better. Peanut, how's it going? Oh, he was just unmuted, and I think he just muted himself. Just we'll get this.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
There.
How's it going?
Good. How are you, Jason?
I'm good. Long time no talk. It's been a while. Also, apparently, like in this hiatus, we've missed a couple things. Number one, I've recently realized you don't understand what hearing aids are. Number two,
I just hearing aids don't help you if you're completely deaf, right? They don't make you hear. They help you hear.
Yeah, they help you hear, and they
help you hear. Not if you're deaf, hearing aids don't do anything.
Deaf people. All right. We can go to Mr. Peanut Bettor's Twitter to bring this up. I'll send it to Mike in just a second here. You replied to a Q&A tweet. You said, what would you rather have? There was a whole thing for A about no air conditioning, blah, blah, blah. And then B, you said you are deaf, but only from speakers, not counting headphones, any TV stereo systems you cannot hear. Whether this is at a bar in a stadium, you can hear music only if it's in headphones. Your phone will need headphones. Assume a loose definition of speaker. Basically, any device should be considered a speaker unless you can prove it. I don't understand. If other people can hear it, why can't you hear it with the hearing aid? I feel like this is how the hearing aids work.
Let's move on to basketball.
Okay, all right. Let's move directly on to basketball. I feel like I disagree with you on this one, and I think Golden Pants does as well. Anyways, let's start with the biggest trade we've seen in quite a while here. Giannis Antetokounmpo. We've heard it percolating for quite a while here. Massive move to the Heat. Just your initial reaction when you saw it was the Heat. Before we saw the steam come out that it was likely the Heat or the Celtics. Did you have like a lean that it might be the Heat at all, or?
No, I was fully expecting it to be the Boston Celtics. Like maybe an hour before the news broke, I chatted to someone and said, like it feels like we're just arguing over Hugo Gonzalez. Eventually, this deal will get done for the Celtics. To me, this is notable in the sense that has ever a player this good been traded? Has a trade ever meant this little for a player this good being traded? Giannis is pretty undeniably a top, 7 player in the NBA right now, even considering the injuries and things he's missed kind of over the past 2 years. To me, that I don't think that the Heat have a legitimate chance to win the East. Maybe, if things break right, I'm not saying it's impossible for them to win the East. I don't see them as a real title contender. So not a lot of times do you see a guy who's as good as Giannis is going to have the standing is an all-time great like Giannis will, get traded to a team and it doesn't totally matter because the team he's leaving wasn't a contender and the team he's going to is not a contender.
Mhm.
So to me, this was kind of like, if a tree falls and nobody gets better, it doesn't matter.
Oh, interesting stuff there. We saw the Bucks. We'll just quickly recap the trade here. Giannis and Bobby Portis for Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Kel'el Ware, Kasparis Jakusionis. Hopefully I got that right. 3 first-round picks, a second, and a 2030 pick swap. So your initial reaction to this is that the Heat, although getting the better player, didn't get much better or improve that much.
I think they improved a decent amount.
But not enough to be contenders.
Yeah, they were just so far down to begin with. And if you look, I mean, like Bam Adebayo is a very good player. He's probably, 20th in the league. Giannis is 7th in the league. And beyond that, it's, pretty old Norm Powell. It's Andrew Wiggins who's past his prime. Really no point guard creator on this roster to speak of. So to me, the main story of this is like, okay, great job, Miami. You managed to be, maybe 3rd, 4th team there in the East. I don't think that they're a real contender. The biggest story is he stays out of Boston.
Yeah, no, I think that's that's a pretty big story there. And if you're the East, maybe you're a little happy about this. How can the Heat then improve? Because they do have like a decent amount of cap space. I don't know exactly how far they want to go into the luxury tax, but again, if you make like a massive splash like this to get Giannis, you'd think that like you'd want to, be spending as much money as possible to try and build as good of a team as possible. Because you really only have Giannis for 2 years, so there has to be more coming here for this Heat. Do you see like anyone in, whether it be free agency, maybe a trade on the horizon? Like what is next for the Miami Heat here if you were the GM of the Heat?
No, I mean, they're pretty locked in here in terms of what they're going to do as far as bringing guys back. So Giannis is going to sign an extension, almost certainly keep him there, through 2031 or whatever. And that will basically lock them in as an over the cap team where they're going to be operating with exceptions and guys coming back to the roster. They're most likely going to bring back Wiggins and Powell. Will be their next kind of set here. And Miami, one thing you have to give them credit for is they are kings at finding random white guys from small universities that come in and play 30 minutes that are somehow like pretty passable. So they can find those end of roster guys in all seriousness. Guys like Davion Mitchell turned around their career there. Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, stuff like that. So they're pretty good at filling out the edges of the roster. To me, they just don't have enough firepower up top. It's really hard to get another guy added to the mix now that they basically are out of assets. So they're going to operate as above the cap team. And to me, it's almost certainly going to be Bam, Giannis, Norm Powell, Andrew Wiggins, and whoever else trying to go into the season next year. They'll be a pretty athletic, pretty switchy team, although an aging team at that. So I don't know. To me, there's no other big moves here. But mostly just going to be trying to fill in the roster around them kind of with supplemental pieces.
So Pawn in the chat mentioning the Davion Mitchell disrespect is real. Do you think their issue is like their number one issue right now with the team is like finding a floor facilitator, finding like a point guard to bring the ball up court?
They don't have anybody who can run pick and roll, right? It's going to be Bam Adebayo running pick and roll with Giannis. You'll just switch it. Norm Powell can do a little of that. Nobody on this team is a distributor other than Davion Mitchell, who's a fine player, but he's the 30th point guard in the NBA or somewhere around there. I like him overall, but there isn't a guy who can create his own shot out of pick and roll, who can set up the pins and kind of knock him down and facilitate for others on their team right now. Unless you want to count Terry Rozier maybe coming back.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know if you can count that. I doubt that one's happening. Can you play with an ankle monitor? I don't know. Anyways, alleged ankle monitor. I don't know what I'm allowed to say or can't say. So no. So you don't see any moves here for the Heat or the free agency. So let's give each team a grade then for this move. And I don't want you to keep it in a vacuum. I want the context of the rosters of each team as well, what they had to give up and what their roster looks like after it. So give me a grade for the Heat. Give me a grade for the Bucks.
The Bucks, I'll say a B+. You can give them a lower grade for them taking this long and it getting to this point where you only had 2 teams trying to trade for a guy who was a top, 5 player in the NBA when he last played. But considering where they're at right now, I thought they did a pretty good job of getting a decent amount out of the deal. My guess is they'll probably keep Tyler Hero for like half a season, allow him to go nuts, score a bunch of points, and then try to flip him. They have a bunch of guys on their team who are pretty, affordable, like cheap contributors. To me, they did pretty good considering they were at this point. Really getting to this point is where they screwed up. For the Miami Heat, I will give Miami, like, the path without Giannis isn't that much more exciting, right? They weren't real contenders going into the season before this. They didn't have a ton of assets. They are going ahead and taking their swing here. They could have tried to trade Bam or done something like drastic to go into a rebuild. That's not realistic. I'll say I'll give them like a C+ for it. They just didn't get better enough to be a real contender. So we'll see. But I didn't love it from the Miami Heat's perspective.
All right. Didn't love it for the Miami Heat. Before we flip over and talk NBA draft, would you take a stab at Giannis 12-1 to win the regular season MVP?
Definitely not. There's the risk of him not playing 65 games is pretty high. And even if he does, he would have to get the Miami Heat to be a top 2 seed in the East. And he hasn't been at an MVP level in quite a while. So the chances there are practically zero.
All right. Generally shocking. Very few times you give a trade grade where the team that receives a better player. Very rare times that people give them the worst grade than the team, giving up the assets, but are getting all the assets. But in this scenario, it seems like you like the Bucks side better than the Heat. We'll see what happens come NBA season. Let's flip over and talk the NBA draft. I know you focus a lot on these top 3 guys. They're going to have like a massive impact on whichever team they end up on, whichever order they go. DeBonsta, Boozer, and Peterson. Right now, DeBonsta is minus 800 to go first overall right now on FanDuel. Is that something that you'd be clicking? Are you just avoiding this market entirely? Because oftentimes, as we get closer to the draft, we sort of see this number plummet, and it's plummeted over the last couple of days. I think it was around minus 250 a couple of days ago here, so it's come down quite a bit. Talk me through the number 1 overall pick, who you think it's going to be, and if you would click any of DeBonsta at minus 800, Peterson plus 650, or Boozer at 50-1.
Early on, I did have some Peterson. I saw the rumors of him thinking he was going to go number 1. He wouldn't be the first guy to leak that he thought he was going to go number 1 and not do it. But when they re-signed Trae Young, that was a pretty clear signal that they have their point guard, and Peterson has stated or I don't know if he stated, but his agent has leaked pretty publicly that he wants to play point guard. So when you get reporting like Shams has said, it's not a definitive answer. But if I was going to lean anything, I would go towards the minus 800. Like I said, I had some Peterson early on. I've sold out of that position as much as possible. I don't believe he's a true threat to go number 1 at this point in time, especially with the Trae extension.
All right. So if you don't think it's going to be him, would you take a stab at Boozer at 50-1, or do you think it's just like you said, you're laying the 800 and hopefully nothing crazy happens?
Yeah, I would just lay 800 and then hope that there isn't a police report that come out about DiVincenzo in the next little bit here. So I don't think that it is. It isn't a lock. Like, we're not talking Cooper Flag, Victor Wembanyama type lock where there's just no way that somebody could take number 1. Could somebody fall in love with Boozer and trade up to 1? Seems very unlikely. I don't see it happening, but it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be like a Flag Wembanyama situation where something legitimately would have to go haywire for that to happen. Okay. So it's not a lock like that. Minus 800 seems about right to me.
All right. Any opinion on these draft prospects? Would you have them ranked any differently at all? Like, I don't know how much of an I know you watch college basketball, and I know you bet on college basketball, but I don't know how much of an evaluator you are. Any opinion here?
I don't actually bet on college basketball, but to me, we tend to, as like, watch a few highlights and somehow think that we have this great knowledge of how these guys are compared to a scout who watches guys 24, like they're watching every single one of their games. To me, for you to come away with a different board than what the consensus mock draft is or what the teams are doing, to me, you have to have a real reason for that. Beyond just, I've seen these guys a couple times and I like this guy more. These scouts regardless of how people love to just think GMs are idiots and nobody knows what they're doing at these levels, these guys are really smart, really competent people for the most part. I'm not saying that there aren't mistakes in there that are pretty obvious, but when the whole league agrees on a guy, to me, you just want to basically ride with the league. So I would say that overall, I tend to trust the league and believe in some version of efficient market hypothesis there.
All right. Yeah, no, I don't think that's a crazy route to take. With that being said, I'm going to pitch you on something that goes against the consensus big board here. We're going to head over to FanDuel and look at the top X pick market player to be drafted in the top 10. I'm going to try and pitch to you a player who's currently ranked around the 12 to 16 mark on consensus big boards, roughly is the range that he's getting mocked to right now. And I think people are going to, laugh at me when I make this connection, but I want to take Yaxel Lendeborg plus 230 to be drafted in the top 10. And the most obvious thing you can look at is the Dallas Mavericks. They just signed Michigan's head coach, Yax, former Michigan player. It's like, is it that simple? Yes, but also I think there's a little bit more reason as to why he has a chance to go in the top 10, specifically in that 9 overall spot, which I don't see listed right now on FanDuel. Hopefully we get that market available a little as we get closer to the draft later tonight. But I mentioned to you, he is the type of player that teams look for in the NBA. And I know Dallas isn't competing right now, but you got to think they're going to want to be competing in the future. He's a wing. He's tall. He's lanky. He has positional flexibility. He really, really helps with the constructing a roster. The biggest knock on him has been his age. Who's a 23-year-old prospect. I don't think there's ever been a 23-year-old prospect that doesn't become a role player in the NBA, but you have to sort of take that case by case. He only started playing basketball or taking it seriously at 18 years old. So he's really only had like 4 years of taking basketball seriously under his belt. On top of that, we've seen Masai Ujiri not be afraid to take projects with their with his first round picks, like we've seen in with Pascal Siakam here with the Raptors. So I don't think it's as crazy as people are making it out to be. The connection obviously is funny between Michigan head coach, used to play for Michigan, so he's going to go 9th overall. But I think there's actually a lot more credence to this happening than people are giving it credit for. And plus 230, it would need to happen, I think, more than 30% of the time, and I can see that happening.
So a couple things. If you are going to agree with the consensus board, this would be the situation where it would make sense that there would be some kind of systemic bias against a guy who's a little bit older, didn't come into the league didn't start playing basketball seriously until he was older. So we project guys with these, player development curves based on an age range that is pretty universal, no matter what your background is. Clearly, you can't just try to map it to guys based on their background because guys have such different backgrounds. It would be really hard to bucket them together, but you can look and say, okay, this is the normal aging curve. Where are the edge cases where that curve, when it exists, when it applied to this player? The perfect example you've already named was Pascal Siakam. He started playing basketball late. He has all the kind of, different tools and traits. He is the example of a guy who would not fit your normal aging curve. Luxembourg is another one. And I would think that this is the type of guy, if there is going to be a misprice in the league, it would be with someone like this who doesn't fit into traditional aging curves, any kind of metric stat that you have. Normal metrics are going to discount any 24-year-old a huge amount because they think, why did it take him until he was 24 to get this good? Most players, if you aren't flashing by the time you're 18, 19, it's a pretty big indicator that there's something going on with your game that is causing you to do that. The examples where I would guess aging curves don't apply as much, and I'd love to see a study on this, are guys who grow very late. Think Anthony Davis, growing in his senior year. Guys who didn't pick up basketball late, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, stuff like that. Those are the guys where you could see potentially whatever metrics, curves that you're using on them, they don't really apply, and we don't have a perfect data set of guys who haven't played basketball late, or maybe somebody on a team is able to kind of crunch those numbers, but that's certainly not really being done in the public sphere. So to me, those are the kind of guys where you could actually find some disparity between what the league thinks and what is actually available, is these kind of edge case scenarios. Specifically to the Michigan point, not a good another like factor working in your favor is not only do you know that Michigan is picking 9th and their coach could possibly be interested in him, everybody in the league knows that. So if you want to get a Michigan player and you see the Michigan coach is picking at 9, what's the natural spot to do? Trade up to 8, trade up to 7 to try to get that guy. Maybe this has no effect at all, and people are much more, rational in their acting than you would otherwise think. I would guess that the Michigan coach is going to also, it's just a matter of having more information. He knows which of the Michigan guys he wants and which ones he doesn't.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in a better position than literally anyone in the league to pick who is the best of those guys, because they have quite a few guys that could be drafted kind of in this range. You could see a squeeze of Michigan. If you want a Michigan guy, to me, you would go up to 7 or 8 to try to get ahead of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. Ade Mara, oh my gosh, is the other Michigan player, and Murris Johnson as well. 3 players ranked, I think, in the top 15-ish on where they can go. Mara right now minus 230 to go in the top 10. So it seems like people are convinced that he'll be going. But I think I'm happy that you agree with me with the Yak stuff, and you kind of made fun of me a little bit over text message saying it's not as simple as just their head coach is Michigan, ipso facto Michigan.
You seem to think that nobody else in the world could think of this
obviously.
angle. Nobody has connected the dots that the Michigan coach is now at the 9 spot. You thought this just totally unique angle that everybody I know has already seen and mentioned.
Yeah, no, I did give it a little bit more thought than just the two Yaks playing for May as his head coach in college. I like it. Listen, I clicked it at plus 230. So I guess the question is, have I convinced you enough to click it? It seems like that might be a yes.
You convinced me enough that it's a decent enough bet. I'm not going to click it into an account, but I'll just go ahead and I'll give you the thumbs up for it.
Okay, you're going to give me the thumbs up for it. We'll add that Yaks plus 230 to be picked in the top 10 of the draft. And if we can get like exacta markets at 9, I think that'd be pretty good. TQ's asking if May is going to have any influence. I genuinely don't know if he will have influence, but you have to think that Masai Ujiri will utilize his resources and ask May his opinion on the player if he likes him. And yeah, so another thing I also didn't mention about Yaks here is that he might be falling as a result of bad interviews, like maybe a character issue, which could work against them. But the coach is not going to say that he has character issues. His former coach.
Well, the former coach will know,
yes
or no, how big of a character issue. You can fake your way through an interview, and you can either bullshit your way. We'll know if that kind of says to me if he's drafted by the Mavericks, that the interview stuff was all bullshit and no big deal. If he's not, you have to increase your likelihood that actually is a legitimate concern.
All right. Any final thoughts here before you head out, whether it be on the NBA draft or any futures you like in the NBA or anything else? Hey, even World Cup. You betting World Cup? Talk me through it.
We are betting some World Cup. To be honest, I have no idea. I'm not very involved in the World Cup betting, but I do have some futures on Norway. Okay. I don't know how we got to that number, but I'm a big Norway fan here for the rest of the tournament.
All right. We'll also be Norway fans. Classic American, not even rooting for his own country. Peanut?
I am rooting for America to be eliminated in a certain round, but we're still getting down.
Which one? 16?
I can't,
you can't say it? You can't say. All right. Maybe you can text me on the side and let me know. Appreciate you joining the show, Mike. You can follow him on Twitter at peanut_better. Mike, Peanut. We'll chat soon.
See you.
Great stuff there. It seems like he fixed his internet too, which is awesome to see. Yeah. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Do us a favor before you head out. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. Reminder, tomorrow, 2:50 p.m. Eastern start time. We got the World Cup watch along. Canada, Switzerland, Bosnia, Qatar. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to want to tune in. We're going to be giving out a ton of bets. Myself, Rob, and Mike will be in studio breaking down all the madness, sweating Canada, see if they can get their second World Cup win, finish top of the group. They don't even need a win. They just need a draw. We're trying to sweat a winner of the group. I don't know why I didn't bet Canada win the group. I'm a loser. I'm a loser. I bet them second. I didn't believe. But I don't care. I'm still rooting for Canada in this one. We are all Uzbekistan, says Connor Hartle. We are definitely not all Uzbekistan, although they do have the coolest name of the tournament, the White Wolves.
I was just going to say that.
Pretty dope stuff. Anyways, appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Goon. Shout out to the Mike that's in studio with me right now. Shout out to you guys. Smash the like button on the way out. That's it. That wraps up today's show. This has been a Tuesday, June 23rd edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.